This. How am I a fascist?
No.
Dude, like,
Can you name one thing I believe that's fascist?
you believe that, like, you on... Oh, shit.
Don't boo him. Don't boo him. Let him think.
But
I'm such a bad fascist. I let the people who disagree in open mic to talk to me for 2 hours uninterrupted.
Okay.
I'm an awful fascist.
Charlie Kirk sent me a direct message, and I'm going to show you what it said. This is almost 6 years ago exactly now, as of this video. I had not spoken to him in person or on social media. He started the conversation. You know what he said? 3 words. You are terrific. Now bear in mind, this is back before I was blessed with the followership I have now. I had fewer than 10,000 followers on Instagram, very small Facebook presence, wasn't even on TikTok at the time. But the fact of the matter is, this young man, this leader of Turning Point USA, reached out to me and saw something I had done. And he felt so moved that he reached out to me himself to encourage me. And then he went a step further. He invited me to the BLS, which is the Black Leadership Summit Turning Point USA was putting on in Washington, D.C. I told him, transparently, I was in between jobs and didn't have the money to fund my trip. He told me that they had scholarships available and to email him directly and he'd be able to take care of it. I did, and that's the story of how I got to be a part of the Young Black Leadership Summit, which was instrumental in springboarding me to where I am today. Now I share that story because he didn't have to do that. And if he was a racist person, why would he do that? I'm so tired of people being besmirched by the tired liberal lie that anyone they don't like has to be some sort of racist. And I'm not immune to this. They call me racist myself. Of course, it's ridiculous on its face, but this is the nonsensical nature of your average leftist. They really want you to believe deep down Charlie Kirk hated all black people. He saw the best in everyone. He saw in me something I didn't even quite see in myself at the time, and he chose to encourage me. That is why I will literally and metaphorically pick up that mic and continue the work that he started, because I myself and many others are tired of being slandered and maligned by individuals who have nothing to sell us but fear, panic, and lies 24/7. I had to share that story with you. I thought about keeping that to myself, but the more I see him being typecast as some sort of evil person, the more I cannot be silent, and I hope that you will not be silent as well. It is time for action like never before. It is time for voices to rise like never before, and I hope you will join me in that effort. So that is the real Charlie Kirk, the one they don't want you to know, but the one I will continue to remember and honor with my actions into the future. So those are my thoughts. Hopefully you share, and hopefully you get busy as well, because we all have microphones to pick up, and we are all Charlie Kirk.
And I want to give Charlie some credit here, okay? Yes. Back in 2019, Charlie Kirk helped a lot of young blacks get to the White House. He changed a lot of their lives. A lot of them never imagined going to the White House, and Charlie helped hundreds of young black boys and girls go to the White House. Charlie, thank you for that.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, man.
So for people who want to call Charlie a racist, kiss my black ass, excuse my language. Charlie Kirk is not a racist.
I love this guy, I'll tell you. And, you know, by the way, I have some New York Times reporters for you to talk to.
I'll talk to them.
No, yeah.
All right, the amount of lies I've seen go around about this man is kind of insane. So I'm going to start debunking some of these lies. The first one is that he's homophobic, doesn't like gay people, has a problem with them, or he thinks they should be stoned. All this crazy stuff people have been saying. Watch this interaction.
So I'm going to ask a very respectful question, as respectfully as I can. What does what they do in their private life concern you so much that you have to go up in front of a crowd? And
it is against God. That is
so let me ask
Are you a
question.
Christian or not?
Do we live in a theocracy, yes or no? No, do we live in a theocracy?
You said you're a Christian.
I am a Christian. And do you know what? And guess what? I will say this. Part of being a Christian is appropriately interpreting what the theological says for the individual, but also means to be long-suffering and patient and loving and kind. Jesus Christ talked to all people. Jesus Christ went and did his ministry through Judea and Samaria, and he had dinner with tax collectors, and he had dinner with prostitutes, and he did his ministry in every part of the Mediterranean. What it means to be a Christian, my friend, is to be open-minded but firm in your beliefs, so you can have that belief. But if you say there's something inherently wrong with communicating or associating just because they make different personal decisions than you, sir, are not a conservative. Thanks for being here tonight.
So no, the man was not homophobic. He overall has shown a lot of respect towards people who are gay. But many on the left don't want to acknowledge that. That's not convenient to the narrative that they want to push about this man. They want to spread lies. And then part of them are using that to justify him being murdered. So if you had a bunch of people telling you, hey, he hates gay people, what else are those people lying to you about? What else are they not telling you the truth about? The amount of slander I see coming from people who have no idea what they're talking about is wild. But again, it's not about the truth, it's about the narrative. And they have a narrative to push, and they're going to do their best to push it and trick people into believing what they want them to believe. But we're going to continue to fight that with the truth.
The previous videos I made about Charlie Kirk were reconciliatory in nature. Probably because I was still in shock, sad, and going through a roller coaster of emotions. But now that the dust is beginning to settle, I think I may be in that phase of the cycle of grief where you just feel livid. This video is going to reflect that. See, sometimes when I reflect on these sort of things, one thing that frustrates me is how much easier it is to destroy than to build. The vast difference between the two is mind-boggling. It's so easy to destroy something, no matter how much effort was put into building it. Now, we've all heard about who Charlie was, and I don't mean the version from the lunatics who are dancing on his grave, but from true unbiased accounts on who he was and what he actually did and built. That young man achieved in 10 years what most humans on this planet will not in 10 lifetimes. He built something that touched people all over the world. In the annals of this nation, he will always be remembered. Now, consider the effort, the smart, the prayers, and the sleepless nights that it took to get where he was and impact so many lives. He was a bright, shining, and upcoming star that was just getting started. But look what it took to snuff out his light. It only took a second of pulling a trigger, a bullet, and one piece of human excrement to destroy all of that. Sometimes I wonder, what's God's plan? He's the one who sees the biggest picture. Where is this going? What's the purpose of all this? How could he allow someone who was probably never going to amount to anything in life to take down a giant like Charlie? Why didn't someone see him, catch him, foil his plans? That evil was all it took to destroy so much good and potential. And who knows where we go from here? You don't see young men like Charlie every day. He was going to change the world. Now we no longer have him. We have the raging lunatics who are dancing on his grave and mocking him. And to those people, I'll say this. Nobody is too ugly, cute, big or small for karma. You will get your karma. The videos I made before this on Charlie's public execution were reconciliatory. They were me pleading that we should all be civil, that you shouldn't do this thing where you are mocking him and dancing on his grave, because it won't help anyone, that it will only make things worse, but you're doubling down. When you mock the dead, when you call Charlie a fascist or racist, you're coping, projecting, and so on. It's the only way you can face the monster you see in the mirror. Charlie was a good man, so good as a matter of fact that vigils are being held for him all over the world. They don't come more moderate than Charlie, yet you call him fascist to justify your own evil. The irony is that you killed the debater, the one who reached across for dialogue like no one, the one who not only encouraged debate, but also created the platform and forum for it, the one who invited his opponents to bring their ideas into the open. He wanted dialogue, not violence. Yet, he was assassinated and then branded a fascist. Welcome to the upside down. See, the terrifying thing about that is the number of people who take those lies as gospel. People who don't do their research, who don't care much about politics, who just repeat the one-liners and mantras they are told. Charlie is a fascist, Charlie is the devil, blah blah blah. But don't worry, everyone can now see who the bad guys are. Dancing on Charlie's grave, mocking him, pretending online you are happy and so on. We both know that's not going to make your life better. You'll still wake up tomorrow morning with the same mental problems and your lives are still going to be shit. His death won't fix your brokenness. People all over the world, even those who never knew Charlie, saw the brutality of that execution and sympathized with him. He was only 31, a father with a 3-year-old daughter, a 1-year-old son. Those children will never truly know their father. They will only see him on TV, in recordings, and in the horrifying footage of his public execution. Only the Lord can help them through that trauma. Yet some people think it's right to mock him and to rejoice in his death. That is evil. And your evil is forever cemented on the internet. The lies, the dancing, the name calling, they will haunt you. Especially knowing that you provided another layer of trauma for his children, who by the way were present when he was assassinated. If you've been mocking Charlie's death, you are worse than human excrement. All of you who have been mocking him, from your thought leaders to celebrities and to ordinary people, teachers, nurses, and so on. The lot of you losers dancing on the man's grave, karma will remember you. We pray for no escalation, no civil war, no more violence, but karma remembers. Charlie was not a fascist. Fascists are more like the ones who shut down speech, who silence debate, who murder their opponents because their ideas can't stand the light of day. Yet, that's exactly what was done to Charlie, and then you justify it by saying he was spreading hate. Everyone except you lunatics know that spreading hate is a subjective statement, and that what you really mean is that it was challenging your upside-down worldview, calling everything you don't like hate, and using that as justification for assassination of your political opponent is despicable. If you're mocking Charlie Kirk's death, you don't deserve to be part of civilized society. You are despicable. You are worse than filth. As for the individual who assassinated Charlie, there is no justice in this world that can truly right that wrong. And in my opinion, the death penalty isn't enough. The way it's carried out matters. Lethal injection will be too quick. So will the firing squad. The electric chair will be too quick also. A quick, painless unaliving is too easy. In my opinion, the only thing close to justice will be something that forces him to reflect on his evil. You know, something public. Because Charlie's execution was public. The imagery of his execution was meant as a symbol. Publicly done to strike fear into the heart of every potential replacement of Charlie Kirk. A bullet to the neck to symbolize the silencing of his speech. The assassin's penalty should also be terrifying, symbolic and unforgettable. It should send a clear message and serve as a deterrent for every potential political assassin out there. And here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the death penalty by a public, televised and very prolonged crucifixion. Yes, that one, in the ancient Roman style. It's so easy for evil to destroy what takes so much to build. Generations of effort can be wiped away in a second. That's why no prayer can be too much. Say a prayer for Charlie's family. May the good Lord rest his soul. And lastly, let's pray for peace, that this doesn't escalate, that it doesn't spiral into more violence. Vengeance is the Lord's, and he will deal with this his own way.
You will never be the best version of yourself if you allow other people to convince you that you can't be better because of your skin color, because of your sexual identity, because of the community you came from. You must resist those narratives at all costs if you truly want to be successful in America.